Okay, so today we have Bad Brains, Eye Against Eye, from the album Eye Against Eye. Anyway, Bad Brains is a band I've heard of for a long time, but I've never actually listened to them. I don't know why, but that's where we are. And once a request came in for them, I was like, I should finally listen to Bad Brains, see what I've been missing. So yeah, we're going to get into this a little less than 3 minutes long. But yeah, let's see what's going on and talk about it after. Here we go.
In a quest of the test, it's a feeling a team, and everybody's always on it just to see themselves. But the fact that I'm mad that you just don't dare doesn't stand on helping hand to anyone else. So you tell me your why, cause you're after the line, trying to make me up confused about the USA. When the fact in my mind is that you just don't hear to comprehend or understand a single word I say. Mother, whatever, go get tired. Whatever, go get tired. Well, every day I sing a story, no factual glory. And I still don't like it, and I know I don't want it. Almighty watching, almighty watching. I against, and I still don't like it, and I know I don't want it.
All right. Bad Brains and Eye Against Eye. So what the heck do I say after a performance like that? I got some thoughts, I guess, but good Lord. Okay. So that was obviously very fast paced. Very unrelentless is another word that comes to mind. And I mean, the tempo changes just so tight. It was almost like 3 songs in one, or maybe more than 3 songs. I don't even know. Obviously there's punk and, fuse in there, but they're not only punk. I guess, there's a metal, alternative metal, I guess you could say. I mean, a little bit of funk in there. It's just like hardcore punk, I guess you would say, if any kind of punk it was. Yeah, it's just, I was just blown away. And frig, I don't know how to... I mean, I didn't understand too many words, but I loved it all. I have to say that off the top as well. And which is why I have the lyrics up. But anyway, just nuts. And I have to say as well, putting it towards something that I've heard, I would have to say I would think that Rage Against the Machine, the guys who are in Rage Against the Machine, must be fans of Bad Brains. I would think, because honestly, Zach De La Rocha came to mind. Anyway, but I would also say, HR, who is the lead singer here, he's singing with such a purpose, you can tell. And even though you might not be able to say or hear what he's saying or whatever, understand what he's saying, which is what he says at the end of the first verse as well. Which I don't know if he's talking about when he says to comprehend or understand a single word I say. I don't think he's talking about because he's singing so fast, because obviously I think he's just referring to what he said before all this, because he is singing with a purpose here. Anyway, but just words, whatever. The delivery is so sharp, and the band's so raw. It's just like just everything I love in punk, for punk or whatever. And I just again blown away. And Eye Against Eye, that whole what a title as well. But anyway, trying to get my thoughts together here. Anyway, just to talk about off the top of it, with the first verse, in the quest for the test to fulfill an achievement. I already love the rhyming here. So harsh. Everybody's always going to pursue themselves, when the fact of the matter is they just don't care. Do extend a helping hand to anyone else. So tell me, why did you have to lie and try to make me all confused about the USA, when the fact of the matter is you just don't hear to comprehend or understand a word I say, a single word I say. So it's kind of like that thing, I guess, a feeling of being alone in the situation. Nobody cares about you, whatever. No one will extend a helping hand to anyone else. Why'd you have to lie to me about the USA? And again, and then when he says, with the bridge, I don't want to have I go against I don't want to have I go against I, which is quite the wording there, wordplay. But there is one annotation in this whole song, which I'm surprised by, again, on Genius here, because the song has a lot of views on it, on Genius, the lyrics page, whatever it does, but it only has one annotation. Anyway, it says the song is against the selfishness and strife created in society that pits individuals against each other. I Against I is the antithesis of the Rastafarian concept of I and I. So obviously, and it goes on here to talk about, according to the Rastafarian scholar E.E. Cashmore, I and I is an expression to totalize the concept of oneness. I and I as being the oneness of two persons, so God is within all of us, and we're all one people. In fact, and I means that God is within all men. The bond of Rastafari is the bond of God and man, or of man. Also says the term is often used in place of you and I, or a we, among Rastafari, implying that both persons are united under the love of Jah, which is also God. So again, just talking about, again, how he starts off with the song, with the first verse, talking about nobody cares, no one wants to lend a helping hand, whatever. Going on to the second verse, same old story, no fact or glory. I like that he says glory there. I against I against I. And then we have the ooze from the backup there, the bassist and the guitarist. Dr. No on guitar, which I like that nickname. Daryl and Jennifer on bass. Bass was also, I have to say, the whole, again, it was just very like, I don't know if he was out of tune, or like the bass itself or whatever. He had to tune it better or whatever. I don't know what it was, but it's just, I don't know. It just, everything was so raw, so freaking, I was gonna say physical, but that does not even make sense. I don't know if that's a word to describe this. It's just so good. Anyway, and Earl Hudson on drums, who was apparently related, the younger brother of HR, who was Paul Hudson. Anyway. And I just like how it's just Earl Hudson. Anyway, it's just, and the drums were crazy as well. A drummer can obviously drum really fast and all this stuff, and it just sounds so chaotic. And that's one thing you could say, chaotic here. But also, like I said, they kind of had some stops and starts in there to make it sound like, again, like it sounded like, a friggin' punk song, a metal song, and all just wrapped into one. And just really blew me away. And again, from 1986 here. Again, there were punk bands obviously before that. Ramones came out in like 75, and apparently that's where they got their name, Bad Brains, because of this Ramones song Bad Brain. But just just nuts here. It's just nuts. And again, I did hear about the band, because I do know Henry Rollins has mentioned them before, and I like Henry Rollins a lot. And they are another band who are from DC, just like Henry Rollins was from DC. So again, I don't know why I never listened to this band before this, but anyway. In the second verse as well, going on here, when he says, I said, who's going to tell the youth about the drugs? And then about the drugs, mugs, bugs, and police thugs. Police thugs, 35 years later. I don't know if much has changed there. Anyway, about the rotten, stinking rackets in the fantasy around the nation, what you gonna do? I tell you, the truth is looking straight at you. The truth is looking straight at you. And then we have the guitar solo in there. Just another, great part of the song. I mean, it just really worked, obviously. And then the third verse, final verse, come on, I know I get a brass Continental with 300Z. I got a color TV with a video too. I got a rest home in Jamaica with my fantasy for all my family around the nation. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What you going to do? And that's it. And when he's talking about, family all around the nation, and you apply that whole Rastafari thing, talking about I and I, putting I against I, which is the antithesis, as it says, of I and I. So it's I guess, it's weird because there's not too much about like what the song means. It's just talking about, from what I see on the internet, talking about oneness basically. And I guess that's their whole point is, oneness is just like, be the helping hand kind of a thing, be kind, be nice, all this stuff. I mean, the friggin' best you can do is just be a nice person or whatever. But yeah, and just talking about how influential Bad Brains was, and were whatever, and obviously, like I said, and how they kind of knock down barriers again with all these genres in one, and just that, again, the whole oneness thing about with the Rastafari and movement and everything, and yeah, it's just I mean, words as sharp as knives here, and it's just, again, the whole thing, especially now in 2022. After we've gone through quite the time, again, it's just like, and people are, all so, cooped up and probably are angry and all this stuff. And it's just, still just, be nice. It's just, I don't want to have to go I against I, that kind of a thing. And I mean, god dang, it's just, I don't know what else I can say. I mean, again, this song was only like 3 minutes, but this video is already like 12. So anyway, yeah, again, so good. I have to say again, the tempo changes were so tight. So it was, again, funky. It was metal. It was just everything I like. Punk again. And also, I did see as well that Rick Ocasek, who was in the Cars, produced them at one point. I think it said he produced an album with them or something like that, which I love because I love the Cars. And again, new wave and punk are not far away from each other. And I also I'll end with this as well. I always say comparing people, because people do get annoyed. There's like, you compare them to so many people. But honestly, what came to mind as well was Fred Schneider from the B-52s. When HR sang, not when he kind of got a little more chaotic, sounded more chaotic, and he was kind of like screaming or whatever, like at the end. But like, yeah, just at some parts, it was just like, he kind of sounds like Fred Schneider to me. And again, it's that whole new wave punk, I guess, vibes that kind of got to me. But anyway, I enjoyed everything here. It was just nuts. And I really enjoyed the message as well. As, again, I love the song because, even though I didn't really hear a word, it just still sounded so groovy and so, unrelentless and everything. But yeah, obviously there's a message in there, and it was just all good. So anyway, thanks for watching, I guess. Thanks for all that, support and, liking, subscribing, everything like that. I really appreciate everything you guys, say and do. And I will talk to you guys again once I do, which is soon.